Welcome back to Income Trading 101. Today we're going to take a look at Tootsie Roll Industries, which ironically this is the first time I've ever taken a look at this stock, which means I definitely was not participating here during this run up and come off. But let's pull some of the data back. And what's interesting is I had to go back and look. I didn't realize they'd had all of these stock splits. 103 for 100, 1029 for 1000, which is roughly the same thing, minus one share. Another one, 103 for 100. So yeah, it's rare that I've seen these S's in TradingView like that, all of these stock splits. So we're taking a look at this is 10 years worth of data. They have paid a consistent dividend of 8 to 9 cents for the last 10 years. Very impressive for this company, and along with the stock splits and whatnot, it's something. Most of even their earnings have been just fine or within expectation, or they're just not getting it. They weren't getting covered as much coverage for a while. But here's Tootsie Roll, which I can't say without having the song from the old commercial pop into my mind. Don't worry, I won't sing it, but those of you who are, a little older, the little song they used to sing. So anyway, let's go ahead and analyze this. We're going to look at some moving averages like we always do. Do the 10-day, the 20, and the 60. And, the beauty of analyzing using this style of analysis is that it does become monotonous. You do the same thing over and over again, which is awesome because you start to see the differences from asset to asset or company to company, and it can help your trading style. It certainly helped mine, or has helped mine. So let's dial in a little bit here, or dive in rather. We have a period of a little bit of consolidation right now because the 10-day is below the 20, and both of those are above the 60. So the 10 is in between the midterm and the longer term moving average, which I call a period of consolidation for sure. That's not a clear trading signal. But let's see what happens if we take it to the 1 hour. Man, I'm really going to have to expand this out a little bit. All right, so at the 1 hour, we also have a period of consolidation because of this crossover that happened 2 days ago on June the 29th. So had a little crossover, and we'll see if these are going to go lower, or if, like, during a period of consolidation, you basically have a change of trends, right? You have a trend that was previously bullish has crossed over, and now two of the moving averages are showing bearish, but our longer term indicator has not gotten in line. It's not in sync yet. So that's why I call it a period of consolidation. It's like consolidating moving averages. And here at the 15-minute, you can see, with the 30-minute, you can see that we actually do now have a bearish pattern. So at the 30-minute, all three moving averages are in line, showing that price could be heading lower in the short term. And I repeat, in the short term, because this is a 30-minute chart, and likely, let's take a look at the 15-minute. Yes, same. At the smaller, shorter intervals, you see that we've had a pullback. The bigger question will ultimately be, is this a pullback? Is it brief, or is this going to be a full-on change in trend? Because you can see the most recent trend largely has been heading higher, even though you had a large update over here on June the 15th and then a huge down day on the 16th. We seem to be climbing higher. So the questions now will be, are we going, where do we go from here? Or is this one big sideways channel? We're going to have to look at that here in a minute, but let's go ahead and pull this in. We're going to hop over to the MACD, get rid of these. Nope, not a comparison. We're gonna we'll look at the MACD as our stochastic indicator, get a sense of where momentum has been and where it's going. So you do see we had a bearish crossover back in March, and This did end up crossing into the zero territory. We had a bullish crossover in early June, which I guess was the next leg of this most recent most recent pattern. Those big days on July 15th and 16th led to a bearish crossover. But if you notice, I always talk about the MACD, how it will oscillate in positive or negative territory if a trend is continuing. We've not gotten a crossover at the daily level. Let's take a look at what's going on at the 1 hour level. So on the 1 hour, man, we did have a big, let's pull this in a little. We had a big crossover here on June the 21st, a bullish crossover. So that's last week. Bullish crossover, and it crossed the zero line. So even though we've had a bearish crossover here, we'll see if both of these are going to cross the zero line or not, or if we're actually going to sustain the trend, which would be a little bit higher. Remember, at the 1 hour level, we also had a period of consolidation, so it's no surprise that these, both the MACD and signal line at the 1 hour, are approaching the zero line. We'll see if it's going to trail higher, if it's going to go ahead and pull below into negative territory, which would definitely signify a what do you call it, a bearish market. Let's look at the 30-minute levels. So the 30-minute and the 15-minute level both had bearish signals, so it's no surprise here that we saw just yesterday or 2 days ago a bearish crossover in the momentum, and it did cross into negative territory, which is a sign of bearishness, certainly in the short term, and I imagine it's going to be the same for the 15-minute. Let's try and expand this a little bit for you guys. It's one of the things I love about TradeStation. They really do make it easy to expand and shrink the views. So on the 28th, we had a nice bearish crossover there, and it did go ahead and cross into the zero line. And now, even though we've had bullish crossovers, which is what I consider periods for that blue line, the MACD line is above the red, the signal line. It did briefly cross the zero line, just the MACD line did, before coming back lower, looking like a continuation of the previous trend, which in the near term is going to be bearish. And for those of you who don't understand the MACD, if you look in the video description, I created a video called How to Trade Stock Using Technical Analysis. It works for any asset, but it definitely, this is like a mini tutorial that I created that covers moving averages, MACD, and it covers some Fibonacci retracement as well. Check out that video because it really can help quite a bit. And also, if you haven't already, please do go ahead and subscribe to this channel. Appreciate all the subscriptions. Crossed over to 600. My goal is a lot more than that, so keep sharing, keep watching. So last but not least, let's get rid of this Fibonacci. We're going to go back to the daily level because I want to look at some support levels and see what really might be going on in this. I mean, we've got lots to possibly look at here. This has been, let's pull that out a little bit. I mean, this stock has been doing some really interesting. It's made some big moves, especially for, we're talking about Tootsie Roll. So, lots going on here. Lots of just movement, right? What I really want to do, let's pull this on out. I mean, wow. Some of these are really, really quite impressive. This moves lower. Lots of volatility for this company. Okay, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the Fibonacci retracement. Let's see. I really just want to try and get, it actually is kind of hard to even look at Fibonacci retracement because we haven't had too many big retracements. So, it's just sort of oscillating, right? It's just sort of going back and forth. If I were to eliminate this huge top that we saw, that huge up and down day in June, we could do a little retracement here from top to bottom. So of the most recent retracement, and that's going all the way back from 2019. This was a bearish look from 2019 that bottomed out in September of 2020. Right now we are at the 61.8. We're between the 50 and the 61.8% level, but we did cross the 78.6. I would have expected us to have a full retracement given that, but we pulled on lower. Once again, this is that move in June. And sorry, this move, the big one, that's back in January. That's what really skews this chart significantly. So yeah, I'm not sure that Fibonacci is really the best. I mean, I'm looking at the 38.8% level. That definitely played a role back here in August, played a role also over here in November, and it looks like it offered a little bit of support last week in June 21st. And I don't know if I said it, but today is July the 1st. Is when I'm recording this video. You can also see that this 78.6% level, which really matters in the retracement, it also was an area of significance. We had 3 times it touched there back in 2019, and it sort of offered a little bit of resistance here as well. So I guess no surprise that we broke through on the 16th, on the 15th of June, and then fell back through. But let's go ahead and get rid of the Fibonacci and just look at some possible periods of or areas of support and resistance. So definitely see that as possibility number one. You've got some I mean, this area, let's do this here, this area as well, right near where price currently is also an area. It played a bit of resistance back in December of 19. You can see it being active in July of 2020, so just a year ago. And it sort of was, it broke through, but then kind of held back in March of 21 and April of 21. And then we also see price hit right there in June. So when you see areas of resistance or repeated areas like this could definitely mean that there's some, this period of resistance could turn into support for our current level. Definitely want to do a couple of, I love making these parallel trend lines. And I had a friend ask me why I do these. And I'm like, it makes it easier to see clearly. Like, my whole goal with the analysis is just to clearly see what's going on, right? Like, if you were to take out this period here, you'd see that there is a breakout clearly that happened right there, and it actually broke through previous resistance and then stopped. And I'm betting if I were to make a horizontal line right there, that also was an area of previous price interest. It's right near these tops back from 2019. So we're seeing in this stock a lot of recurring themes. I mean, a lot. So I don't want to mark this whole chart up so it'd be lines all over the place, but right now the most important thing is that even though we're seeing some bullishness in the short term, it looks like we are sitting right on, so we could do either that angle, but I don't actually think that would be the right one. I think that's the one because of how strong that trail off was. And I mean, look at this. Sorry to get all excited, but when you start to look at things like this, you had this sort of trend line that was happening from this up, strong up, sideways, touches the line, strong up again, and then it touches the line and goes up huge on the 15th of June, and then just this massive down move, this down day breaking through, and now we seem to be heading back into it. So we draw another, obviously this could end up going lower, but it's just very interesting, very curious. Or the other thing is that this actually could be the line that we're looking at, and we could have a breakthrough. So that's why sometimes it's just easier or better, more beneficial to wait and see what's coming. Certainly patterns like this one here, when I've got mostly I can trail this off as a bearish move, or I can actually make a more flat one. Flat or slowly trending channels are not the best for me. I like it to be clear. It's like, what do I need to trade, and where is this a buy or a sell? And I would definitely, I hate to say hold off. And this is one of those stocks that's getting a lot of play. So the key could be waiting for another bullish signal. So maybe we'll end up, we're sitting literally right on this support line that has been was relevant back in 2019 and in 2020. So we'll see if that, like, look at the support, look at this period over here in 2020. Just gonna stretch that out a little bit. It's a channel, like it's a flat channel with a couple of days that broke through. So that's kind of what we're sitting on right now. There's probably a lot of pent-up interest there, and we'll just have to see what ends up happening with this stock, because if we could sit on this resistance and then just blow through it, support, or we'll break back through, and it could end up becoming a period of resistance again. But I will say that the overall trend appears to be a bit higher with this stock right now. I'll do one last line and then I'll let you guys go. Thanks again for watching these videos. By the way, I do get quite a bit of enjoyment from making it, and I've learned too that making these videos actually helps my trading quite a bit as well. My option podcast that I have an option trading podcast. It's been going for 3 years now. That has upped my option game significantly, and that's just a lot of fun. So for those of you who haven't heard that one, you can search for the Weekly Option Podcast, and you'll find it. It's here on YouTube. I also I make it on it's on iTunes and Stitcher and Google Play and Amazon and all sorts of stuff. But anyway, with this technical analysis, look at this, right? You had clearly heading lower, this trend, and that changed back in, we'll kind of call this October-ish, October, November, just Q4 of 2020. And now we just seem to be grinding higher. So if we are going to grind higher, then I would shy away from, I want to trade with the major trend. So if the major trend is higher, then I'm looking for reasons to be bullish rather than looking for momentary pullbacks where I can catch big bars. Some people love those. It's just never been a good trading style for me. So we had a nice little triangle right there before it blew higher. So anyway, that's it. Hey, thanks again for watching the video. And if you guys have any questions or comments, feel free to leave it in the channel or in the comment section. And I'll be back tomorrow. So happy trading. Take care.